So we were talking about annual reports. As I wanted to introduce you guys first about the annual report writing. So, what is annual report? Like the whole year data, we are going to convert into a document and to present it to the people whom we wanted to make aware about all this. So, with this, we are for this we need to write down a report, and that must be in a comprehensive form. And in comprehensive form we put all those activities that happened during the year. Either it is about the achievement, either it is about any knowledge or any CSR. So all these are going to be reported. So annual reports are intended to give some shareholders and other interested people who wanted to get information about your company. And that information is not only about the activities, but it's about what financial progress you have done. Not only progress, whatever the whole year the finance or is like what can I say, like it is it like it's spended over there, and what you achieved in case of that finance. So the whole report we need to present. For that we also write down annual reports. When we have to define annual reports, that we will define it. Basically we say that whatever the technical writing we do, it's in the form of documentation, it's a record. So annual report is record of accountability. Accountability of what? They present where your company is standing. Your company is standing in a way of its purchase, its sale, its production, its performance, what it is ranking in a case of identity, what market in the market, what image it is portraying, and with that its financial state, as we have discussed. So all these points together we need to collect, and we have to put it. Can anyone tell me now, are you listening me now? Is it clear? You can tell me in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, perfect. So with this what we do then then that means the people who are interested in your company, or who wanted to know about your whatever the things your company is producing, or what it is having. So for that we need to write down. And technical reports sometimes are considered a very good tactic to introduce yourself into the market. So that's why what they say, that many companies use APs as a marketing tool. So by listing accomplishment, achievements, thanking and recognizing employees and government. So that's why these are used. Then if we are going to head towards its second part, that's about its importance. Why, what importance it is carrying. So, when we have to talk about this, we will say that it gives us some opportunity to take a step back and to look that what we have done in throughout the year, the whole year, what things we have done. So, for that reason, what we do, we try to write down a technical report, and then we also try to know that either company is doing good or we need to do more good. So for this reason we write it down. Then we have to obviously find out that how much money we are spending, like what are our investments are what. So we need to know about it. So we report annual report can present that data in a very accurate and comprehensive form. Through some charts and figures you can portray it. Then we need to get obviously an idea that what company has planned for and management strategic plan for the next year as well. That report is not just going to consist of only what we have done in the previous year, but also what we are planning for the next year. So this is also one important factor that we mention into our report, annual reports. Then why we need to write down annual reports? Obviously there must be some objectives that we need to attain and we need to achieve, and there are some desires that we wanted to get uh, from our organization or the company. So that these are what we have to put light on it. The very first one is demonstrate accomplishments, like results and how you did it. Whatever the for example, if you launch any product, what results you achieved from the market, and then how that result you attained, what was your procedure. So all you wanted to know in the very first hand. Then the second one is you wanted to basically identify the most important people who participated into it and who are really you can say they are a core part of your company. So there you always try to go for it. They can be directors from the very upper body to the lower body of your organization, all are included into it. For examples that are given into your slide: directors, employees, government employees, the bankers, or the consultants, all these are included into that. Then create a historical progress, means like throughout, from the very first, how you started your work and then how you ended it up with the progress. So all that success you are going to mention into it. It's not that at a specific point you achieved a very good uh, achievement in your business or about your product or in your organization, so you're just going to mention that. No, throughout, how you worked, how you started, and how you ended, all the things you have to mention into the report. Then we also have to provide what we have to provide, that how organization had worked in the last year. So in that year, what every employees was uh, how every employee was contributing into that, you are going to mention that as well. Then fulfill a management best practice. It must show that how your management worked well. Obviously in to run any organization, we have to put most of the focus on that what are the things that management have done, and management controls that organization. So for this reason, it's really important to know that strategies. Then desired outcomes is what are our what were our hopes, what we achieved. So that means we are not just going to mention the company's only things, but we are also going to mention how we started it, then how we succeeded into it. From the start of the mission, we have to mention it in the form of a story to engage people. They will listen you when you are going to tell them your success story. Then we also need to know that for the reasons of annual report, like people don't share information, they tell stories. So this is a tip: while you are presenting orally your report in the form of a presentation, so try to keep it in a form like people got inspired by your story. So tell them their story: how do you started your journey, what hurdles you faced into it, and what were your areas of specialization through which you worked and you did it. Then you are also going to highlight your ambition, your mission, and then the results you brought in that stories. So share with people that all in the form of presentation. In documentation you don't need to do it. Then the core part of your report, it must contain a table of content, obviously. Then the list of your board directors, who are the board directors. Then notice calling annual general meeting. Then directors report. then cooperating social responsibility report, and all these reports are some points that we need to mention. You don't need to go for it. Let's go for what basically directors and management's role into that. Directors role is to represent and serve the interest of shareholders, whatever people who wanted to invest into your, or who are investing, you really need to represent them. Your directors, until they are not going to represent them, they are not going to uh, recognize them. So their recognition is important as well. If your company's good performance important on the one hand, so along with that you need to appraise them, what strategies and policies you have made into the company. So directors basically they considered responsible authorities, whatever the announcements or the declaration or the decision making happened into any company for any operational purposes. Then annual general meeting basically required for the directors and stakeholders incorporate to the company, and it is required by some law, that obviously any company that we are running, they have some laws to run it. So you have to to introduce that, you have to call a meeting. Then yes, we need to go here. Auditors report. Auditor reports basically provide a valid. How everyone provide a report, it depends on the person's, like how, what person is going to report about what. So auditor is going to report about the validity and reliability of your company's financial statement. What company is having in the finance, all these things, along with till how you can utilize them, how much investment you further need. All this you have to do into the document where auditor is going to present it. So auditor report is a reasonable assurance to the company's financial state, because they are basically presenting a mirror image. So then financial report is about all the losses and all the profits that you have attained, that you have received throughout the year. You write about that. Shareholder fund and policy holder fund, whatever the shares company is holding. Obviously some companies, they are not running individually. There are some shares of the partners that are investing into your company. So all their interest and all their policies, whatever the company is making, you have to share into your report as well for their acknowledgement. Then formal, obviously if we are saying that report is formal, we have to keep in mind its background. In the written form, its background must be white. If you wanted to present it a little color, you can do it, but please don't try to make your annual reports that much colorful, that can give a view that it is written on some chart paper, not on a paper, or it is not in a printed form of a plain paper. So it also not going to clarify. So that's why plain white paper is considered more appropriate for it. With that, you can obviously put some colors into the charts, into the graphs, into the pictures, so that can. Then a few or no images means some of the images you can enter into it. Obviously, some to present some data you require uh, some kind of pictures. So doesn't mean you are not allowed to use it. You can do it, but don't try to full your report with the pictures. Your words are as well as required, and these are important as well. So do it. Along with that, you can put some columns and figures where you have to put some finance or this type of data. Then dynamic of your, it must be in the bold form, it must be colorful. Bold and colorful means easily viewable and readable as well. So your images are going to present your creativity. So it must be related to your report. It doesn't mean that you are going to put just to show your creativity, any image can be added into it. So related image and required one. Unnecessary images are not required in any in report. Then digital and printed, obviously printed one is preferred, and you need to send it as well. Uh, while you are going to report anything, you have to go for the printed one. In for the class activities as well, yes. So provide a physical reminder cannot be easily modified or tampered, controlled, access only available to certain people. Does not require electronic expertise and does not require a digital skills. No printing cost associated, can be emailed, can be like it's in the PowerPoint if you are making it on Microsoft Word or any uh, spreadsheets or whatever you are going to use for it. So in that they are basically comparing the two, that how digital is effective and how printed is. So you can take the annual report in the digital form for a longer period as compared to sometimes in the printed form uh, people can lose it. But if it is in your email, if it is in your any laptop or iPad, so you can easily keep it. It is considered more advanced, so that's why it is more interactive and animated one, and it can be easily changed and make it error free. How because online you can easily change it, but if once you are going to print it, it's really hard to change that print. So you have to take again the prints and you have to make it error free. So that's why it is compared. Yes, when it comes about how you are going to create that annual report writing, so for this first you have to make preparations. In preparation you have to keep in mind its process and what you have done throughout the year. So throughout the year you are going to prepare. For process you have to go for internal and external resources, and for preparation of throughout the year you have to obviously make a record of every achievement that you have done or any reward that you have received. So please go for it. uh, it's really good and easy if you approach, if you have done it throughout the year. Then keep various contents and reports up to date. Then compile photos of new projects and save organization's results as well. So that means whatever the things are going to happen throughout the year, you really need to make their record. Their record will save you, and you can easily make your annual report at the very end. Keep running the list what to include in your annual report. Maintain annual reports, pros and cons of your feedback, your past reports. You can see them and you can get an idea how to improve the next one. So keep record of everything, whatever you are carrying in your company, so that you can make it easily. That's why it is important. There is a tip for your preparation of annual report when you are going to create all year long. Gather and catalog submitted photos and ask for written permission to use them. Yes, in a written form. If you are getting permission from your all the people that are from where you're collecting that data of your company, so you really need to ethically. It is required. You have to ask them for that. For utilization. Sorry. Then we need some timeline. Obviously, uh, it doesn't mean like year is going to be end and you're just going to write down the end report. It is not. Obviously, to merge whole year data and to make an outline of it, to align it, to make it functionalize and to present it in an accurate and correct form. You have to work for it for months. It doesn't mean that within 1 week or within 2 weeks you are going to make it whole year's data. No, it's not. And yes, you can make it, but there will be a lot of errors done into it. So that's why you have to uh, be conscious about it, that it will take time. So what these 2 to 3 months, what your agenda is, what you have to do, how you have to divide your work. You have to first prepare your report and create online section and basic layout of your. Then you have to gather and organize all the content from your internally organization from your internal and external sources of your organization, like not only the employees that are working internally, but also those with whom you dealt throughout the year. You have to keep that record as well. Then discussion with the management and the departments, what work. Obviously a company is not consist of one department, so all the departments, what they carrying, what they have done individually, you have to collect the data that. Then you are going to design your report and put a review on the draft that you have like once you have made your report, you really need to go for its review. Then you are going to make it print and in the PDF form. If either you wanted to send it into to a digital form, so you can send it through email as well, and you can put it on the website of your company as well. Some companies, they have good websites, so they always put their annual reports at the end onto it. And you at the when you will do it, you can submit it to your management or your authorities or the board of directors. I mean, to all those who are involved into it. Then how to make your financial report. For the financial report in annual report, you need to really make it simple with a very plain English. And yes, don't write down in abbreviated form. Please spell out all the abbreviations and show trends and timelines of your what is your key message, the core message that you wanted to convey through that financial information. Present it in the very first priority. And you also in financial report sorry, not report, I'm saying again and again it, financial part of your report. In financial part of your report, you have to talk about whatever the money you have done, what fund you have collected, how you are costed, how you profited, and all that. So for this, you can present it in word form as well, and along with it you can present pie charts and some bar charts, whatever suitable to you and according to your requirement, you can go for it. So here when we have to present it into the charts, and it depends on you and your data, that either pie chart is fine for to represent that financial data, or you need to go for uh, what can I say, like for that you need to go for the bar chart. So you can select any of that. Then obviously if it is about any finance, we are going to use percentages and the numbers. Tie financial to your financials to your mission. Whatever you are money you have demonstrated you spent throughout, so make a connection to it. It doesn't mean that you are going to pick uh, any amount that you have spent that you have spent on a specific point, and you just going to mention it into the report. Then you have to devote no more than 20% of your report to your financials. Don't try to go for more than it. Obviously it's really hard. You can't spend like you traveled and you are going to mention that as well. So traveling means any casual traveling if you're doing. So each and every part is not important. It doesn't mean you are going to write it down. And it is not possible as well. So the important one is that you have to go for it, not more than 20%. Then you are going to explain it. You can explain if it is required. Obviously it is required. Some people really want you to know the depths of your data, of your finance, so you can put the rest onto your website. Best practice for your annual report preparation is uh, use five or less elements in your pie charts to best reader comprehension. Because if more are going to be used, people will not concentrate on each. So that's why keep it in that way. Then accomplishment is that describe achievements, some results you needed to achieve, and some activities you wanted to, which activities not required. So those achievements that are important and that you wanted to mention, that you have gained, and that's success story basically on other hand. So you wanted to use it. Show activities that help achieve the company's mission. Yes, it's not only about you just going to mention in your annual report only the achievements, but how the related activities that help it. I wanted to give you example of this in a way, like for example, if we can say like in any type of in any story writing, or no, not story writing, in any argumentative writing. On the one hand we are claiming about something. To prove that claim we are going to put some example. This is just like that. To prove your success, what helped you during that success to achieve the mission of the company. So that's why you will side stories of that, you also mention it. Use impressive numbers: total turnover, PAT. These are all the numbers that that financial department they use uh, into the reports. Photos, yes, include lots of photos. Use positive and uplifting photo. Emphasize on the real people. It doesn't mean some companies. I have seen it. People, what they do, they take the pictures for traveling agencies. Sometimes they do this trick. They pick pictures of outsiders, and that are not real pictures that belongs to their company. So don't try to make it fake. Be real, so you will set a good image into the market. What while preparing that, what people you need to involve there, that is a list of those people. You can read it, how many of them you wanted to. uh, so you have to include all these into your writing while that preparation. Then theme of the year, what was? So transformation of your company, day in the life, milestones, that critical issues that happened, that stuck, success stories of the company, progress towards the future, new undertakings, and milestone anniversary. So this is the themes are including all these, like from the very first till the end and the future as well. So it will show your agenda for the coming year as well. To go for it. Uh, tell three key messages means you have to convey a specific impression of a major accomplishment. So you are going to talk about, sometimes people inspire, like this is what this was the way they have chosen and that's why they succeeded. So you have to go for it like this. Then ideal length of your report, yes, depends on the activities obviously. How much, sometimes a company in some years they progress a lot. So sometimes it's a mild one. So in that case it depends how much activities you have to mention into that report. But it shouldn't be more than 90 pages, and it shouldn't be less than 70 pages, 60 to 70 pages. So that kind of report is designed for the annual. I'm talking again and again that it's an annual report. It's not technical report or the budget report. Budget report I will teach you guys in the next lecture. Examine sampling of annual reports to the gauge optimum length. Then writing style. Yes, obviously, it is coming under the formal writing. So we have to make it formal and very professional one. Clear reading level, like no ambiguity should be created while writing this report. Then highlight major accomplishments, then scope, numbers, connect all these dots. Then photos and captions. Second most read and looked into the annual report. Obviously, on the one hand, if people are reading some of the success stories related to your report, the company's visual images are most important. So people will see what you have mentioned into the, or what you have pasted in the form of the pictures. Your pictures are first that are going to tell your story. So that's why make it connect your all the writing with your pictures. It doesn't mean like statement is showing something else and picture is about something else. So you have to keep in mind how to do it. In your photos, caption explain what people are doing. Obviously you have seen that caption is there, so caption required. Must have content, accomplishments, financial highlights, appreciations, future actions, and all that we have already discussed. And pull out quotes, shaded colors and backgrounds, and QR of the videos and infographics, so that people can approach it easily. This is a sample that infographic I have shown you. So seniors by the numbers. So this is the way they, you can see the mapping is there and the highlighted parts are there. So the chart is shown here. So everything is mentioned. So this is the way you can present any infographic. Yes, there are some things that you don't need to do while you are going to write down your report. That is hard to read. Don't make it with the full of text. Don't make your size of the text very smaller one, and don't make it blur so that people will be unable to read it. Go for it. Too long contents are not required. Sometimes people what they do, they write down a lot into it. So don't go for it. Yes, pictures have no meaning if they don't have any caption. So mention caption as make your report error free, not only basis of your sentence structure but also on the basis of your grammar and spelling. Leaving the financials to interpretation. Don't make people to judge your finance. Give them clarity in your financial report, in your financial record. Don't make it boring. If it will be so much lengthy with the executive letter, the executive letter is in the very first hand we always try to write it on the report. So don't make it boring. Yeah, when it comes about addressing bad news, so you have to go with the very direct and very honesty you need to show it into it, and justification for that bad thing if some loss happened, or like sometimes you have seen that some companies they caught the fire or anything. So how the directors and the chairmen or the higher authority handled it, from there you need to put some lines from their side to that. Electronic and printed we have already discussed, and these are the checklists list that you have to make from who is going to design, from where we have to get the data, externals and internals, and for that reports theme, what all what we have done, this will be in this list. So you have to make the checklist. This is an example of interactive annual report in India's Cortec got an interactive annual report made for them last year from an overseas agencies. So it is for the soul of the company in India to have one, as it costly affair overseas. So for the overseas, they have made it. So this is basically a theme. This is the first page of that. If you have made any embedded videos into your report, if it is in the form of an email, digital form, so it can be easily got received by the viewers or the readers. Otherwise, you can mention the URL of in the printed form. Investors expressing of surface interactive annual report is like industrial visit of your company. So that means your report is leaving an impact on the people who are interested to invest in the future. So that's why make it report like so accurate and according to the that can develop an interest to people, because those who are unable to physically visit your company, your visit can be done through your report. That's it. Thank you so much for today's lecture. So, guys, now it's time of your questions, and then we end up